Cheap is the new expensive. Michael McLean, brassballsvideos.com. I am an ex-professional hockey coach, ex-amateur championship hockey coach turned 8-figure entrepreneur. I'm just heading to get my 11-year-old daughter at school and wanted to shoot this quick video. I was thinking of this all day, how free is the new expensive, how being cheap, how being, a bargain hunter, how being less than not having an attitude of gratitude. There's two types of people in the world. There's takers and there's givers. And being a taker, being a cheapskate, being a bargain hunter, and always refusing to invest in yourself or your business or your family, in the end, it's the worst strategy. Free is the new expensive. Being cheap is the new expensive. And the perfect example of this is what you see now in pro sports. I refuse to watch the NFL. I refuse to watch the NBA. I refuse to watch, baseball. I'll watch 10 minutes here and there. I'll watch the last quarter of the Super Bowl, maybe. I'll watch a little bit of a Bills game. But I don't watch any of the the pre or the post game nonsense. Those leagues have turned into they're leagues of social justice warriors, not athletes. But the sport itself, and I know this as a minor pro coach and as an amateur championship hockey coach, the fundamentals have gone out the window. The coaching is horrific in most teams. If you've got coaching in the NFL as an example, or in the NBA, or in the NHL, you're an almost automatic playoff team. Look at the magic. Look at the magician job that Andy Reid's doing this year in Kansas City with the Chiefs. They're an unbeaten team, and a lot of people can say, they're not that good, and they've been really lucky. But in the NFL, your record is your record. If you're 5-0, you're 5-0. If you're 0-5, you're 0-5. That's the old Bill Parcells, you are who you are. But when it comes to the Chiefs, Andy Reid is laughing. He doesn't have to deal with the Belichicks anymore. He doesn't have to deal with the Pete Carrolls. He doesn't have to deal with the really great coaches in every city. He's going to run into Sean McVay. He's going to run into Sean Payton. He's going to run into, a couple of other guys, that are going to make a difference. But Andy Reid, if you sat down and you had a cheeseburger with Coach Reid and you were being completely 100% candid with each other, he would say the coaching has never been weaker. The leadership has never been weaker. And this is because the teams that are mediocre, the teams that are losers, they're cheapskates, and they refuse to invest in the best coaching and leadership that money can buy. And Jim Harbaugh is the poster boy for winning. If you want to win in college football, you make a deal with the devil, and you're guaranteed you're going to compete for a national championship. Guaranteed. You hire him to rebuild your NFL franchise. You make a deal with the devil. He's a strange guy. He's a different cat. The guy's a total winner, total champion. And you give him 2 to 3 to 4 years, and he's going to build your program into a Super Bowl contender, and he's going to give you a chance to win a Super Bowl. Look what he's doing with the Chargers in year one. That team is going to be a wild card team, possibly a playoff team. Whatever that guy touches, he makes better. And I was just watching his team slogan or motto or cheer at the end in the locker room on video today. And the guy's attitude is contagious. He's a true leader. His dad was a leader. His brother's a leader. These guys are outstanding coaches. And they bring credibility and a winning culture to wherever they land. But Harbaugh says to his players at the end of every game in the locker room when he's done addressing the team, "Who's got it better than us?" And they all yell, "Nobody." Who's got it better than us? Nobody. And I just love that mindset I love that thinking. I love that attitude of gratitude. I love that service before self mentality. Who's got it better than us? And I think this is what guys like Andy Reid and Sean McVay and Jim Harbaugh and Nick Saban, all the greats in any sport, they bring that attitude of gratitude. They bring that brass balls leadership. They bring accountability to every part of the organization. You just look in Alabama, you look at what's happening in Michigan. I mean, they hired good coaches to replace Saban, and they hired, and the same with Harbaugh, but there's automatic slippage in standards and accountability. And you can't see it right away until there's one loss, and then there's a second loss, and you just understand that those guys are good coaches, but they're not outstanding coaches like Harbaugh and Saban. And gradually there's slippage in standards, in accountability, in recruiting, and it doesn't take long until the entire program is not competitive anymore. We'll see what happens in Alabama, but there's been slippage. Michigan, major slippage, because the king has left town. This is what you pay for. Can you visualize for a second? Can you see in your mind's eye if the Chicago Bears, with the number one pick in the NFL draft, a quarterback, which is Harbaugh's, that's what he played as a champion in the NFL, and you got the first pick, and you're too cheap. You're too cheap as owners to hire Jim Harbaugh. You're going to stick with the guy, the mediocre guy, the ordinary guy, the average guy, and you're going to entrust him to nurture and build the next generational quarterback player. He should be. He's number one pick. We'll see. And this is a kid that needs lots of coaching, lots of leadership. Jim Harbaugh is tailor-made for that job. And when I heard, he played in Chicago, he would go there if the money's right, but you're too fucking cheap to hire the best available leader. And I feel bad for Chicago Bears fans, because if Harbaugh's your coach right now in year one, okay, Caleb Williams is a different kid already. You're automatically fighting for a wild card. You're automatically fighting for a playoff spot in year one. In year two with Harbaugh, plus his development, plus his leadership, who has it better than us? Nobody. And that incredible fan base in Chicago. In year number two, you're fighting to be a divisional or conference champion. And then by year three and year four and year five, you're in the topic, you're in Super Bowl talk all the time. Whether you win or whether you don't win, nobody knows. It's so friggin' hard. But Harbaugh's the guy to get you there fast. And you're too cheap. You're too cheap to do it. So, for Bears fans, cheap is the new expensive. You're going to struggle. You're going to put your generational quarterback at risk. I mean, it's already a shit show in Chicago in terms of the coaching. You burned a year. Harbaugh's long gone to L.A. And who could you have that would have been better in Chicago than the great Jim Harbaugh? So, same thing. I mean, I'm a big Buffalo Bills fan, and people are talking about Josh Allen. Josh Allen is one of the greatest quarterbacks in the game, top three. And you only have a guy like that for maybe 10 years, maybe. And you've pissed away, 5 of them already? And there's no fucking way you're winning jack shit with Sean McDermott as your head coach. No way. That guy is a flincher. That guy is a panic coach. He's going to do something in an important game, whether it's the first playoff game or the second playoff game or the Super Bowl. That guy's going to flinch under pressure. He's going to make a poor decision, a big mistake on the sideline, and he's going to cost you. Jim Harbaugh isn't going to make that mistake. He's not going to flinch. He's not going to make that mistake. And they could have convinced Jim Harbaugh to go. You should have fired McDermott. You ain't winning anything with that guy. And they didn't have the balls, and they certainly have the money. But there's a deal where here's a blank check. Bring Harbaugh in, and now you got the next 5 to 7 to 8 years with Josh Allen under center, and you can literally say to your fan base, we are now serious Super Bowl contenders. You're not serious Super Bowl contenders now. You'll never convince me with McDermott on the sideline. Flinching coaches are a nickel a dozen. Philadelphia could have done the same thing. They could have blank checked it and said, Harbaugh, come here. It's all about the quarterback for Harbaugh. He's no dummy. He's no dumb bunny. He needs the quarterback. He needs a Herbert. He needs that guy, or he ain't going there. Then the next thing is the money in the city. So in Philly, all the people are in place to take a run year after year, but you don't have the leadership, you don't have the management, you don't have the coaching. And Jim Harbaugh goes in there this year, the same as in Buffalo, and you're a serious Super Bowl contender in the first season. You know, the Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, they're susceptible. They're I mean, this is the weakest team in the two previous that won Super Bowls, but Andy Reid is such an incredible coach and leader that he's got them prepared. He's out coaching the other teams, and Mahomes is the greatest player of this generation. So he's number 2 behind Brady in my book in terms of history. So, but Andy Reid is the guy that stirs the drink. He's the guy that pulls it all together. So cheap is the new expensive. I don't care if it's, products you're buying for personal development. The high performance guys that I work with, my mastermind members, those guys pay me $12,000 a year for coaching. I got guys that pay me $30,000 a year for coaching at my higher level mastermind. And these guys are the most successful. They're the richest, they're the fittest, they're the happiest, they're the healthiest, they have the best relationship with their kids, with their wife. Why do you think that is? Do you think that's because they're bargain hunters? No, these guys go out and they find the Nick Saban. They go out and they find the Bill Belichick. They go out and find the John Wooden. They go out and find, that next level coach and whatever it is. Not necessarily me. And they invest in themselves, whether it's books, whether it's newsletters, whether it's coaching programs, whether it's seminars, whether it's masterminds. They want to be held accountable. Like Saban says, ordinary people, ordinary, average, and mediocre people, they want to be left alone. If you want to be left alone, you're you're living a life of quiet desperation. Good people, average, a little bit better than average, good, good in the middle. They want to be coached. And top 1%ers, high performance people that I work with, they want to be told the truth. And that's the difference. Left alone, coached a little bit, and at the very top, they want to be told the truth. I'm an ass-kicking truth teller. I don't give a fuck whether my guys like what I say. I don't care if they like me. I don't care if they dislike me. My goal is to be respected and be effective. That's what they're paying me for. But I'm no different than Harbaugh. I'm no different than Andy Reid. I'm no different than Pat Riley or Scotty Bowman or, any of these elite coaches. Is they hold people accountable. They hold people accountable. And when you hold people accountable, they have to raise their standards. And everybody from the secretary to the athletic trainer to the marketing director to the person who sells tickets to the kicker to the quarterback to the offensive lineman, everybody gets better because they're being held accountable. Andy Reid holds everybody in that locker room, in that organization, accountable. Sean McVay does the same thing. And those guys, sometimes they don't have the players, and they literally can make, lemonade out of lemons. They can make chicken salad out of chicken shit. And it's because the owners invest in the best that money can buy. They invest in the best analytics people, the best nutritionists, the best fitness people, the best mental training people, the best planes, the best hotels, the best of everything. And that's how you win. Investment in yourself. And heading into a new year, the question is, if you're struggling in any of your area of your life, raise your standards. Raise your standards. That's what we have to do to improve our lives. You're accepting mediocre performance, so raise your standards and hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable and raise your standards. And that's how a Jim Harbaugh goes into a place like the Chargers, and automatically there's a major bump. His energy, his passion, his attitude of gratitude. Who has it better than us? Nobody. And like I said in yesterday's video, with the election results in America and the fact that we're going to kick Trudeau out of Canada here in the next year, the sun's about to shine like it hasn't shone in 50 years. And we've had it pretty good. But my dad always says, we live in the greatest time in history in 2024. We're awash in wealth, opportunity, and abundance. Well, now the sun's really going to shine. You got a pro-business, pro-achievement government in the States, and you soon are going to have a pro-achievement, pro-capitalist government in Canada. What more do we want? I feel it's my moral responsibility to make hay. I believe it's my patriotic responsibility to do well over these next 4 years. I don't believe that not doing well is acceptable. I think that's shameful. You're going to struggle. You're going to fall on your face. You're going to embarrass yourself like I do. You're going to lose. You're going to win. But now is the time to put both feet on that gas pedal, go balls to the wall, invest in yourself, and make hay over the next 4 to 5 years. Because we don't know what's coming after that. But don't be one of these dumb bunnies who looks back 5 years from now and says, wow, I wish I would have taken advantage of that great economy or that great environment, because we don't know what's coming. So So forget the procrastination, forget the overthinking, get rid of all that mental trash and that mental gymnastics that you're playing, and take action on your big thing. Make it happen. It's your moral responsibility. It's your ethical responsibility. It's the most patriotic thing you can do for your country, is to get out there and build things, to invent things, to hire people, to pay taxes, and to inspire people with your balls to the wall principle. And remember, cheap is the new expensive. Free is the new expensive. Forget about all that stuff. Invest in high quality, invest in yourself, and remember what Harbaugh says. Who has it better than us? Nobody. And remember what my dad says, my 91-year-old father, the best is yet to come. You can download a free copy of my brand new book, 5 Ways to Unfuck Your Life in the Next 30 Days. The free link is below, brassballsvideos.com. This book is for champions, not for chumps, for winners, not for whiners. The link is below. 2 words that changed my life, 2 words that'll change yours. Be relentless.